He just sent a serious message to the Edmonton Oilers in game number 3. Sam Bennett might not be the best player in the NHL, but he's playing like an MVP in the Stanley Cup Finals. And Brad Marchand, well, Father Time may know no man, but Brad Marchand does not know Father Time, and it's showing with his play in the Stanley Cup Finals. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. As always, hit that subscribe button down below because you need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. Guys, for those of you who keep tuning in, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed, but you keep coming back, hit that subscribe button because it costs nothing and you can stay up to date with the minute that I post a brand new video on YouTube. So guys, this whole episode is going to be centered around none other than Sam Bennett, how he's been playing this postseason, and how can the Florida Panthers retain him while also keeping Marchand and re-signing Aaron Ekblad. This is going to really center around contractually what the Panthers can do to keep Sam Bennett here. But before we get into that, guys, this is about how has Sam Bennett made such a big impact in the playoffs this year? The biggest thing for Sam Bennett has been he's gotten better every single year in the postseason. From the regular season, where he's been pretty solid, his play has been picked up well above his regular season play. And that has happened ever since he became a Florida Panther. On the Calgary Flames, he didn't have a whole lot of time. He didn't have a whole lot of chances to be put into the game. And we'll get into some of those numbers. We'll get into some of the quotes from previous players that he played with and those he played against and are on his team now. So let's go through this by the numbers. So right now, Sam Bennett is having a career postseason. That is obvious. 14 goals in total, 3 assists, 12 of those goals coming on the road, an NHL record. And he is now in the lead to win the Conn Smythe Trophy right now, just pushing past Connor McDavid. And guess who is in third place? None other than Brad Marchand, and we will get into him and how he is doing this postseason in just a little bit. But he is now the Conn Smythe leader. In this series right now, he has 4 goals and no assists, but his 4 goals have been humongous in this series. They've either been catalysts that have put the Panthers in a position where they've scored multiple goals in succession without Toronto scoring, or he's put himself into a position where he's kind of putting that nail in the coffin for the game like he did in game number 3 with an incredible play, which I'm going to show you guys right now. We all know what happened, but look at this hustle. This is one of the reasons, this is the biggest best hockey play you could see right now in the playoffs. You want to talk about hustle as a hockey player and playing for a contract, guys? We all know the play. Take a look at this.
Final. 45-year-old Frank Mahovlich. Bennett with a huge hit.
Big time, 2 big time shots. Opening himself up and putting on the Jets. Unbelievable play by Sam Bennett. So he is playing for that big new contract. We're going to talk about this coming up in just a second, but I want to talk a little bit more about some of these numbers that Sam Bennett, in terms of, is he worth the money? Is he not? I said in the last episode that he is aging. Is he past that those prime years, or is he right at the very end of it? So far, I'll show you the stats in just a second. He has gotten better every single season as a Florida Panther. But there are some issues, again, with his health. He has not been healthy for a whole 82-game season in a bit, and he's been nicked up here and there. No significant injuries that have been... Surgery has been required to get him through that injury. No, but still, it could take a toll on his career in terms of the longevity. And that is one of the biggest worries for, I think, a lot of the teams in terms of trying to throw that $10+ million a year contract at him. And guys, I don't want to hear about income tax or state tax. We're leaving that off the table. Okay? Look at the last video. I was just making a statement there about the difference between the states where there are no income taxes, state taxes, and the ones where there are very, very high ones. And in terms of who has the upper hand there, is it, teams that don't have the state taxes to those that do? Can they get a good team built with that there because they have to pay more to their players because they're making less in terms of what actually goes into their pocket and then what gets taken out? I'm not going to go into that right now because we're just talking about Sam Bennett and his numbers. So he has had 10 even strength goals in the postseason. That is the most in the NHL postseason right now. We're going to talk about high danger goals and shots on goal by location. So Bennett scored his goal in Game 3 from a high danger area on a breakaway in the second period, and he's tied with Corey Perry of the Oilers, obviously, for the NHL lead in high danger goals. That's 8 each. The Panthers lead the league in high danger goals at 47, and obviously the Oilers are second with 41. But again, those numbers are a little skewed because they have played more games than anybody else so far. They are in the Stanley Cup Finals right now. But Bennett is also second in high danger shots on goal, 24 in 20 games. During the playoffs, he's behind none other than Connor McDavid, who has 26 in 19 games, and he ranks third in the league in shots on goal overall. That's 60 behind McDavid, 72, and the Oilers, Evan Bouchard, who has 61. So he is way up there with some of the best in the world. I would say the best in the world, which is Connor McDavid. And there's a reason why he's moved into first place for the Conn Smythe Trophy this postseason, because he is playing almost like he is the best player in the world. We all know Connor McDavid, McJesus, he is the best player in the world. But the way Bennett, for his team, what he is doing right now and scoring these incredible goals, and yes, a lot of them are happening in front of the net, but that's the beauty of his game. And I'm going to show you some quotes from some of his teammates, some of his past teammates that are now teammates. Some of the guys he played against in the past and are now his teammates. All those things. I know teammates that are teammates. Yeah, I know, redundant. But still, the biggest thing I'm trying to show you guys here is his overall worth right now, how he really has been picking up his game in the playoffs. And these are his numbers right now. Look at the years. From 2021, not much. They only had 5 games in the playoffs. They were ousted in that first round. So we see over the years, though, he has picked up his game significantly. 20 points this postseason, 14 and 6. Look at his shooting percentage, 23%. Power play goals, he has 4 this postseason. Obviously, his best postseason as a Panther. I know he had the 5 and 10, the 7 and 7. That's great, but I'd rather him be scoring more goals than putting up more assists. I mean, he gets in front of that goal, and he is just a menace in front of the goaltenders. I don't want to hear you guys saying, oh, he's bumping into him, he's doing this and that. He's a physical player. That's the beauty for him. He's the physicality, the speed, the hockey IQ is what is making him so dangerous. And he's saying, and I'll show you again the quote that he says, being on the Panthers, he has learned his style of hockey, and it has changed over the years based on the people that have been around him. That's why he's picked up his game in the last 3 years. Look at that, 22-23, when they made their first Stanley Cup. Not the Panthers' first Stanley Cup, but his. 5 and 10. The next year, 7 and 7. Then this year, 14 and 6. Look how his game is shifted to that more, I'm going to get in front of the goal and I'm going to be scoring. I'm not going to be the assist man so much because I'm going to be the playmaker that's going to stand there and be disruptive in front of the net. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in the goalie's face. I'm going to wreak havoc. I'm going to get into their head, and I'm just going to be an absolute, just got a skunk in front of there because he is just getting stinky. He is making everything a living hell for the other teams that he is facing. That's why everybody's like, man, other teams are really taking a big time look at him and saying, maybe we got to throw, the whole vault at this guy. Not give him $15 million a year, but he might be worth it. Especially if he has 2 or good 3 years left. might be worth it. So anyways, his speed has been huge. On that breakaway that you saw, look how he turned it up ice and just put the Jets on and blew everybody away. So he ranks very, very high at 20 plus mile an hour speed bursts. He has 45. He's tied for 7th in the entire NHL. Skating distance and all that stuff, I'm not going to get into, but he has speed. He really does. So goals off the rush. His PGR, projected goal rate, is estimating the likelihood of a shot attempt of becoming a goal. That's what that is. The actual goal rate of all shots this postseason across the league was 5.1%. Anything that's considered 12% or higher is very, very high probability attempt. So Bennett has 4 inference shots. 4 inference shot attempts with a PGR of at least 12% in this series alone. The third most in the entire NHL behind Draisaitl and McDavid. They have 5 each. So his ability to put a shot on net, and it's a high probability of going in, is up there with the best. It really is. And I don't know more of what I can say in terms of, if you want to argue that McJesus should still be the leader in the Conn Smythe, I'm glad he's throwing 1 million assists out there, and he's got 20-something points, and Draisaitl's got 30, I believe, in total. That's all well and good, but just, again, look at what Bennett has been doing. 4 goals in this series out of the 14 in total for the Panthers. He and Marchand together have combined for 8 goals in this series. 8 of the 14 for the Panthers. So only 6 other guys have scored on the Panthers in the finals right now. That's how massive he has been for this Florida Panthers offense. And again, that hustle, those big-time hustle plays, the forechecking that he does makes him such a valuable piece of this offense. It's what's making them click. And what I hated at the end of game number 3 was how the Oilers decided to get dirty and go after our big players. The whole thing that happened with Tkachuk when he went in, and I don't know who the 2 players were from the Oilers, but they just get right on him. I think it was Wallman was one of them, and just literally just clocked him in the face. The slashes on Verhaeghe back of his leg, and then Kane coming over and taking the stick and giving him a whack in the face. At the end of the game, Perry coming over and smacking Mikkola right in the back of the leg and trying to fight everybody around him. I know you guys were playing for pride, but how about you have a little bit of that just common courtesy of, guys, you lost the game. Yeah, you got your butts kicked. And we're going to get into another reason why that happened tomorrow in that video. But have some respect for the other team. You guys got outplayed, out-hustled, out everything. You made a ton of mistakes, especially Evander Kane had a terrible game. Terrible game. But why are you going to come after a team? Like, you want to talk about intent to injure guys? The Oilers were trying to do that at the end of the game. There is no padding really behind the back of a guy's shin pad. It is open. When you see guys get hit in the calf, there's not a lot of protection back there. So if you're going to take your stick and whack a guy, that's why Verhaeghe fell down. That's the cheapest shot you could do. Have some class, guys. Throw it back in my face. Please, Oilers fans, Canadian fans, Leafs fans, throw it in my face. Please tell me how dirty the Panthers are. They're not. They're not going up behind players and slashing them in the back of the leg. They're not going up after a guy's getting tied up from behind, another guy's coming over and just sucker punching him right in the face like Wallman did, which is why he got fined $5,000 by the NHL. Come on, guys. But I'm digressing. I'm getting off. I'm getting heated about that because it just got me so... I couldn't believe what I was seeing at the end of that game. Yes, you're playing for pride, but you're coming after our guys with intent to injure. They came after Bennett. They came after Tkachuk. They went after Mikkola. They went after Verhaeghe. I mean, come on. Let's call it what it is. That was cheap. That was cheap. You want to talk about cheap shots? That was cheap. But anyways, so Bennett has been nothing short of spectacular in the series and in the playoffs in general. So 2 of Bennett's goals in the finals, including the one that was in game 3, that came off the rush. And the NHL Edge IQ, that is a goal that occurs within 5 seconds of the puck crossing the offensive blue line. Bennett leads all players this postseason with 5 goals off the rush. On inferenced shot attempts, no other skater has more than 3. He is playing like he is the best player right now. Again, Connor McDavid has some incredible plays with the passes that he makes, but it's about who is helping their team the most right now to win the games, and it is Sam Bennett by far. And the thing I love about the Panthers is, again, it's the team mentality here. It's, I'm going to help everybody around me. Yes, I know Bennett hasn't been helping everybody around him, but he's been helping his team win because he's getting in front of the net. He's getting those dirty goals out there. He's getting the ones where he's getting pushed around, getting those cheap shots, getting some cross checks in there that are not getting called, but that's part of the game. And he's taking it. He knows what he's doing in front of the net and crashing it and trying to help his team win. That is what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And I love the fact that, he and other players are trying to do their best to get into that crease and cause havoc. That's how they're going to win. They're getting in the goaltender's head. That is what they're doing. And it's incredible to watch. So how are they going to be able to retain Sam Bennett? How can they sign him to a contract? Well, it's going to work out like this. The AAV, the average annual value, the only way that they could do this without Sam Bennett leaving and to try to keep a little bit more money into that cap space is the guaranteed money in the contract. A lot of it's going to have to be up front. They have to front load the deal that keeps the AAV down. And if they have to pay him upwards of around $10 million in the deal, and they're going to have to rely on the fact that, yes, Florida is a no tax state. There's no income tax here. And then they can hopefully still reach the market value or hopefully get below that AAV value. Like I said, if they can find a way to get it to around like 7.5 million instead of 10, maybe even closer to 7, and you're still working with around $12 million, between $10 and $12 million, you could probably still keep Marchand and Ekblad if they're able to do that and they front load this. But that's the only way they're going to really be able to do it. And we'll see what Bennett's camp decides to do and what his agent thinks would be the best thing for his client. But again, Bennett loves playing here. He says he wants to stay. Even if he wins the Conn Smythe, the value is there for him to get more money. And I'm sure people are going to throw their whole wallet at him, of course. But he just loves it here too much. Why go somewhere else where you might not be winning like the Panthers are winning right now? I think he's going to be bigger than that, and he's not going to get greedy and say, you know what, somebody just offered me $12 million, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to run with it. And they're going to do it $12 million a year for the next 5 years. I think he's going to do less than that here. I think he takes somewhere between, unfortunately, I think 7 to about 7.5. That $6.5 million, I think, is still too low for him, and I think Ekblad will take less too. But he's still going to have to get paid more than Marchand and Ekblad. It's obviously, guys, come on. He's going to have to. But anyways, so we're going to keep moving forward here on to Brad Marchand, the Rat King. So he is having one hell of a series too, guys. 4 goals, 2 breakaways in that game number 2. None bigger than the last one that put it away. Man, is he having a heck of a series. Man, is he having a heck of a playoffs. So look at his numbers here. So his very first playoffs, he was just an absolute stud. 11 goals, 8 assists, 19 points in total. But another big year in 18-19 with, obviously, the Bruins, because this is his first year here. 9 goals, 14 assists, 23 points. I mean, he's had some great playoffs. But look now. The other one that I just mentioned, he had 24 games that he played, and so he had 9 and 14. This year, in 20 games, he has 8 and 10. 18 points. And there's still possibly 2 more games at minimum to play to close out the series. And even if he does score 2 more goals, this is one of his best postseasons in his career. I know you're looking at the stats there, but how he has been playing, it doesn't look like he's a 37-year-old playing in the NHL right now. He doesn't look slow. His puck handling, his forechecking, his speed, everything that he is doing looks like he is playing in that 2018-2019 playoffs. It's been great to watch him play. Great. And by the way, Bennett and Marchand, they're the second set of teammates in NHL history to each have 3 games where they have scored goals in a row to start a cup finals. They've each scored in the first 3 games. Second set of teammates. I think it was since 1981, I believe. If I'm wrong, excuse me, it could be a little bit later than that. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Brad Marchand being the leader that he is. I'm love seeing the Bennett's ability to still get in front of the net, crash the net, not being deterred based on the pushing and shoving that's happening in front of there. He's fearless. I mean, off the ice, he's a different guy. He's a funny dude. He's super nice. He's very gregarious, but on the ice, he is a pit bull out there and he doesn't care. He's going to get in front of the net. He's going to do what he has to do. Yes, he's going to take a shellacking, but yeah, and there's a lot of, he's hitting the goalies and stuff like that, but okay, let's leave it be. That's how he plays his game. That's how the best in the world play in front of the goaltender and just outside of that crease. That's what they do. You've got to be disruptive. You've got to be physical. And if you're not going to score goals. You can't be pushed around. He pushes back. There are some controversies, yes, but that's how he plays his game, and that's just how it has to be, guys. That's it. So, moving forward, we've got game number 4 tomorrow night. Do the Panthers still keep doing what they're doing? Because one of the things, I'm just going to touch on this today because I'm going to get more into it tomorrow, my goodness, is the Panthers lines, the Panthers lines have changed a little bit. They've mixed a little bit here and there, and I know some of that has to do with just the position of where the puck is, and then when players are getting back on defense, and somebody's out there from the second line that mixes in with the third, so on and so forth. But Paul Maurice is allowing guys to come off the bench, and he wants those lines to be mixed. I mean, for one of the power plays in game number 3, we saw Marchand, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, and Schmidt. And it was a power play. That's not their normal number 1, unit for their power play. So I'm liking what Paul Maurice has been doing. He's even doing it out there with the 5-on-5s. And what was great was in the beginning of the game, they started with their top line. But the second line that went out there was their third line. It was that Marchand, Lucianen, and Lundell line. And then they scored at 53 seconds into the game. He is finding these magical ways of just looking at the ice, looking at the Oilers lines and seeing how his team is matching up. Okay, what guys are matching up with these guys? How can I put them together? I thought for a second in that game, I saw Bennett, Marchand, and Tkachuk on the ice together. They were for a fraction, and it was Marchand actually got onto the bench, and it was Tkachuk and Bennett out there. I think it was actually for that Bennett breakaway goal, but he went to the bench. So for a fraction, they were there together. But I'm excited to maybe see that happen tomorrow night's game. We'll see what Paul Maurice decides to do with his lines. Will he keep them the same way that he did to start and just kind of see how the game plays out? If things are working, just keep it as it is. Will he kind of mix and match some of these lines? So that's a topic for tomorrow. A lot more to get to still. So we're going to get into these main graphics right now in terms of what Brad Marchand is saying about Sam Bennett. That shift was a perfect example of his game. Blows 2 guys up, and then he somehow leads the rush after that to score a beautiful goal. He can do it all. He has been an animal this whole playoffs. He's built for this time of year. That was that breakaway. I mean, he comes back, puts the body on, steals the puck with a great forecheck. Lucianen ends up picking it up as it bounces off an Oiler, and the rest is history. Like I said, Bennett just burned everybody and put it past Skinner like it was nothing. Bennett has become one of the best goal scorers in the postseason, if not probably the best one, because yeah, he leads postseason in goals. Here's Marchand continuing. I think that's one of the biggest separators that he has in when you have when that he has is when you get in this time of the year that you have to be in that dirty area, and he lives there. That's in front of the net. A lot of guys get pushed at this time of the year, but it's great when you have that ability and the skill to capitalize in front of the net. He's done it so easily This whole playoffs, not just in this series, but in the whole playoffs. And here's Matthew Tkachuk when he was in Calgary. Let's not forget, those two were teammates in Calgary. So he's always had talent. He's always had the work ethic. He's always had the bite, the jam, everything. I think a lot of it has to do with opportunity. He continues. He didn't get the opportunity in Calgary that he has here with the minutes and how he's utilizing everything. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's just a personnel thing or whatever, but he's just taken off as a whole new player here in Florida for everybody to see. Even though in Calgary, he's like, I saw it all along, and us as players saw it all along. Continues. When he was traded from Calgary, we weren't too thrilled, especially him being a great buddy of mine. I was not too happy when he got traded from Calgary, but I was also so happy to see him here and have a chance. And this is Sam Bennett on how his play has changed with the different players that have come onto the team. I think our style changed, but I think it even fit my style of game even more so. That gave me even more confidence to go out and play. I've got quite a few playoff games under my belt now and always felt the need to perform when the games are the biggest. And it showed when I showed you guys that graphic, and what he has done throughout the playoffs in the last 4 years has been remarkable. This is one of my favorite quotes because Seth Jones faced Bennett in the past. And Seth Jones is a hard-nosed defender, and he's having one hell of a playoffs too, man. He has been one of the stellar, quiet, but stellar players out there. Unspoken hero right now. As a defenseman, you see where he gets around that blue paint. He pushes off. He makes himself big. Screens as well. It's just that constant body contact around the net that really elevates his game and makes it difficult to handle. That's coming from a guy he used to play against and says his game is so great in the blue paint in front of it. He takes it to another level in the playoffs, and he's deserving of the Conn Smythe as things sit today. Let's see how things play out for the rest of the series. He just inched forward after game number 3 with his incredible performance and the contact, his hustle, his forechecking, everything. But the bigger picture here now is, what is he going to do in game number 4? What are the Panthers going to do in game number 4? Are they going to be able to hold serve now, come out the same way they did in game number 3, take it to the Oilers, frustrate them, get on that forecheck and be aggressive? Are they going to be able to get into the head? And we don't know who the goaltender is going to be for the Oilers right now. That's still up in the air. But are they going to be able to get in the head of the goaltenders? Are they going to be able to stop McDavid and Draisaitl, with which they did a great job of in game number 3? Their defense really played incredible, and their power play, their penalty kill, they were still phenomenal across the board. Obviously, that's why they came away with that huge victory, that 6-1 victory. But let's see, are they too frustrated, or are the Edmonton Oilers going to bounce back like they did last year? I hate to say it, but I think the Panthers have gotten in their head emotionally. Let's see what happens. Again, the psychology of this game can be brutal. Can the Panthers keep it up? Can they keep the Oilers at bay? Can they blow them out again? Or is this going to be a tightly contested match and we're going to see a more physical game from the Oilers? Because I have a feeling they're going to come out really trying to take it to the Panthers and pretty much do what they did to us in game number 1 and just take a page out of our playbook, throw it back in our faces. But let's hope it doesn't happen. As of today, I can confidently say with the play that I saw, to me, it seems like Paul Maurice is going to be out coaching Knoblauch. I think he's got his lines set up a specific way. And I think he's just got this whole different game plan that Knoblauch is not able to figure out how to go against it and match it, because they just didn't have an answer for anything that the Panthers threw at him in game number 3. But anyways, guys, big game tomorrow night. 8 p.m. at Amerant Bank Arena. Can the Cats pull off another victory and go up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals? We'll find out tomorrow night, guys. Again, thank you for watching this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Again, do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Comment, like, share. I'll be posting another one tomorrow, guys. I will see you guys then. Have a great evening and go Cats.